The war fleet appeared above Earth without warning. 300 ships, each the size of a small city, blocked out the stars. The Galactic Empire had arrived. Captain Marcus Webb stood on the bridge of humanity's defense station, watching the alien vessels through the viewing screen. His hands gripped the metal railing. Earth had only been traveling in space for 50 years. These aliens had ruled the galaxy for 10,000. "Sir, they're sending a message," said Lieutenant Amy Ross from her station. The screen flickered. A tall alien appeared. His skin was deep purple, and 4 arms crossed over his chest. His eyes glowed yellow in the dim light of his command ship. "I am Commander Vex of the Galactic Empire," the alien said. His voice was cold and flat. "Your world has been chosen for integration. You will surrender all weapons. You will accept our rule. You have 1 planetary rotation to decide." The screen went black. Marcus looked around the bridge. 20 officers stared back at him. Some looked afraid. Others looked angry. None looked surprised. Humanity had always known this day might come. "Get me the council," Marcus said quietly. Within the hour, Earth's leaders gathered via hologram. President Cole, General Hayes, and Dr. Lisa Martinez appeared as blue projections around the conference table. "We can't fight them," General Hayes said. He was a veteran of Earth's last war, and his scarred face showed it. "They have 300 warships. We have 12 defense stations and 40 patrol ships. The math is simple." "The math is always simple," President Cole replied, "until humans change it." Dr. Martinez pulled up a data screen. "I've been studying their broadcast signal. Their technology is advanced, yes, but it's old, very old. They haven't innovated in centuries. They don't need to. They always win." Marcus leaned forward. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying they expect us to be like every other species. They've conquered, afraid, predictable, following the rules of war they've written." Dr. Martinez smiled. It was not a kind smile. "But we don't know their rules. And we've never been very good at following rules anyway." President Cole nodded slowly. "Continue." "Every species they faced thinks like them," Dr. Martinez explained. "Logical, efficient, traditional. But humans?" She laughed. "We're the species that went to the moon with computers weaker than a children's toy. We're the species that split the atom, mapped our own DNA, and argued about it the entire time. We don't think like them. So what do we do?" General Hayes asked. Marcus had been quiet, thinking. Now he spoke. "We do what humans do best. We improvise. We adapt. And we make them very, very confused." The next morning, Commander Vex received Earth's response. He opened the message, expecting surrender or a foolish declaration of war. Instead, he got neither. The human leader appeared on screen. He was smiling. "Commander Vex," President Cole said, "we have considered your offer. Before we respond, we have some questions. First, what is your opinion on music? Second, do your people enjoy sports? Third, have you ever tried chocolate?" Vex stared at the screen. In 10,000 years of conquest, no species had ever asked such questions. "What is the meaning of this?" "Also," the human continued, "we'd like to invite you to dinner. Tomorrow evening. You and your top officers. We'll prepare Earth's finest foods. We can discuss terms then. Oh, and bring comfortable clothing. The formal uniforms look restrictive." The message ended. Vex sat in his command chair, all 4 arms hanging uselessly at his sides. His tactical officer, a sharp-faced alien named Cross, approached. "Commander, this is obviously a trick," Cross said. "Of course it's a trick," Vex replied. "But what kind of trick invites the enemy to dinner? Perhaps they plan to poison us? Then why warn us about comfortable clothing?" Vex shook his head. No, this is something else. Something we haven't seen before. He pulled up Earth's information file. Humans were young, aggressive, unstable. They fought each other constantly. They made art about their own extinction. They sent messages into space, hoping someone would answer, never considering that the answer might be hostile. They were, by all accounts, completely insane. Prepare a security team, Vex ordered. We'll attend this dinner. I want to understand what kind of enemy we face. Cross bowed and left. Vex remained in his chair, staring at Earth on the view screen. The small blue planet spun peacefully below, unaware or uncaring that 300 warships surrounded it. For the first time in his long military career, Commander Vex felt uncertain. Commander Vex arrived on Earth with 50 armed guards. His ship landed in what humans called New York City. The buildings were small compared to imperial architecture, but they reached high into the sky with a strange determination. President Cole waited at the landing zone. He wore no armor, no weapons, just a simple black suit and a smile. Welcome to Earth, Commander, Cole said, extending his hand. Vex stared at the hand. In his culture, showing an empty hand meant surrender. But the human's eyes showed no surrender, only curiosity. What is this gesture? Vex asked. A handshake. It's how we greet friends. Cole kept his hand extended. Or at least, how we greet people we'd like to be friends with. Vex did not take the hand. We are not friends. We are conquerors and conquered. Not yet conquered, Cole corrected gently. You gave us a day to decide, remember? We still have 6 hours. The human turned and walked toward a building. Vex had no choice but to follow. The dinner was unlike anything Vex had experienced. The room was warm and filled with strange smells. Humans moved around carrying plates of food. Music played softly in the background. There were no weapons visible anywhere. This is insane, Cross whispered to Vex. They're treating this like a celebration. I know, Vex replied. He felt his tactical training failing him. Every instinct said this was a trap, but nothing happened. The humans just smiled and offered food. A young human approached with a tray. Commander, this is called pizza. It's bread with cheese and tomato sauce. Very popular here. Vex took the food suspiciously. He scanned it with his personal analyzer. No poison, no drugs. Just food. He took a small bite. It was delicious. You like it? The young human asked. We also have pasta, steak, sushi, and chocolate cake for dessert. Why are you doing this? Vex demanded. Why feed your enemy? The young human looked confused. Because you're guests? And because food makes people happy. Don't you get happy when you eat good food? Before Vex could answer, President Cole stood at the head of the table. Commander, officers of the Galactic Empire, thank you for coming. I know this is unusual, but humans believe that you can't truly know someone until you've shared a meal with them. Cole raised a glass. So tonight, we eat. We talk. We learn about each other. And tomorrow, we'll discuss the future. The dinner continued for 3 hours. Humans told stories. They laughed. They asked the aliens about their home worlds, their families, their favorite memories. And slowly, despite themselves, the aliens began to answer. Cross found himself explaining how his planet's 3 moons created beautiful tide patterns. Another officer described the music of his people. Even Vex, after his 4th slice of pizza, mentioned his daughter back home. Dr. Martinez sat next to Vex. Commander, can I ask you something? You may ask, Vex said carefully. How many species has the Empire conquered? 4,612. And how many resisted? All of them. At first, What happened to them? Vex set down his fork. They fought. They lost. We absorbed them into the Empire. Their soldiers became our soldiers. Their workers became our workers. It is the way of things. Are they happy? Dr. Martinez asked. The question surprised Vex. Happy? They are alive. They are fed. They have purpose. What is happiness compared to survival? Dr. Martinez smiled sadly. Everything, Commander. Happiness is everything. She stood and walked to a window. Outside, the city lights sparkled like stars. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. Wars, poverty, disease. But you know what kept us going? Not just survival. Hope, love, joy, the belief that tomorrow could be better than today. That's what makes us human. Vex joined her at the window. And you think this makes you strong enough to fight the Empire? No, Dr. Martinez said. We know we can't win a traditional war. Your ships would destroy us in hours. She turned to face him. But Commander, what if we don't fight a traditional war? Asterisk, before Vex could respond, alarms blared on his communication device. Cross rushed over. Commander, the fleet reports multiple anomalies. Human ships are approaching our vessels, but they're not attacking. They're broadcasting something. Broadcasting what? Music, sir. And messages. They're talking to our crews, asking them questions, inviting them to visit Earth. Vex felt his blood run cold. They're not preparing for war. They're preparing for conversation. President Cole appeared beside him. We have 4 hours left, Commander. Why don't you stay for dessert? I promise you, chocolate cake is worth fighting for. By morning, Commander Vex's fleet was in chaos. Human shuttles surrounded every Imperial warship. They didn't attack. They didn't threaten. Instead, they played music. They showed movies. They broadcast cooking shows, comedy programs, and something humans called cat videos. Commander, the crew of Battleship 7 is requesting permission to visit Earth, Cross reported. His voice shook with disbelief. They want to try this pizza thing. Denied, Vex snapped. Sir, Battleship 12's crew is asking the same thing. So is Cruiser 23 and Carrier 41. Cross looked at his datapad. Actually, sir, 60% of the fleet has filed similar requests. Vex slammed his fist on the command console. This is impossible. We are warriors of the Empire. We don't get distracted by food and entertainment. With respect, Commander, Cross said quietly. When was the last time anyone in the Empire experienced something new? We conquer worlds, but they all follow the same pattern. Resist, surrender, integrate. Every planet looks the same after we're done. Every species becomes the same. We haven't seen anything genuinely new in centuries. Vex wanted to argue, but couldn't. Cross was right. The Empire was efficient, powerful, and incredibly boring. His communication panel lit up. President Cole was calling. Good morning, Commander, Cole said cheerfully. I hope you slept well. Our deadline is in 30 minutes. Have you made a decision? You cannot win, Vex said. Even with your tricks and distractions, we have superior firepower. We will take this planet. You're right, Cole agreed. You can take our planet. You can destroy our cities. You can kill millions of us. He leaned forward. But Commander, can you take our spirit? Can you kill our ideas? Can you conquer our culture? What are you talking about? Cole smiled. Right now, your soldiers are listening to human music. They're laughing at human jokes. They're curious about human food. You've been in space for 10,000 years, Commander. But you've forgotten what it means to live. You only know how to conquer. We bring order to chaos, Vex argued. You bring silence to songs, Cole countered. You turn planets into factories and people into tools. But humans? We're messy. We're chaotic. We create art for no reason. We make jokes during disasters. We fall in love with our enemies. And yes, we fight each other constantly, but we also forgive each other constantly. Vex stood silent. In his long career, he had heard many speeches from desperate leaders. Pleas for mercy, offers of treasure, threats of hidden weapons. But this was different. This human wasn't begging. He was teaching. Let me tell you a story, Cole continued. 300 years ago, humans nearly destroyed ourselves with nuclear weapons. We came so close to extinction, but we stopped. Not because we ran out of weapons. Not because someone conquered us. We stopped because we chose to. Because we decided that survival wasn't enough. We wanted to live. To explore. To create. To love. What is your point? Vex asked. My point is this. You can add Earth to your list of conquered worlds. 4,613. But what if, instead, we offered you something better? What if we offered you change? Change? Join us, Commander. Not as conquerors, but as partners. Bring your people here. Not to integrate us into your empire, but to integrate yourselves into humanity. Learn to laugh again. Learn to create. Learn to live. Vex's tactical mind saw the trap immediately. You would infect the empire with your chaos. Within years, other species would rebel. The order we've maintained for millennia would collapse. Yes, Cole said simply. And something better would grow in its place. For a long moment, Vex said nothing. He thought of his daughter, who he barely knew because he was always at war. He thought of his home world, which looked like every other imperial planet. He thought of the pizza he'd eaten last night, and how it made him feel something he hadn't felt in decades. Joy. You are insane, Vex said finally. Completely, Cole agreed. So, what do you say? Will you conquer us? Or will you join us? Vex looked at Cross. His officer's face showed the same conflict Vex felt. Then Vex looked at his fleet on the view screen. 300 ships, each filled with soldiers who had been listening to human music all night. He made his decision. President Cole, Vex said slowly, I believe we should discuss this further. Over dinner. And I would like to bring my daughter to Earth. I think she would enjoy this chocolate cake you mentioned. Cole's smile could have lit the entire planet. Welcome to Earth, Commander. Welcome home. End of story? Asterisk.